I move? I should move, yeah? Like kind of here? Or am I wrong?
So much bigger than...
Dude, I look like I'm hosting an OnlyFans channel.
No, you look like you're hosting the official podcast of Virgin Airlines.
You think? Well, I guess I'll take that as a compliment. You know, I take that as a compliment. I'm done in this business with trying to like have my own successful work of art. I'm now getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? I just now would like to host Bank of America's podcast. I like that.
I was listening to a bank's like I think podcast, but it was a guy. It was really
sometimes it's hard to tell with those. Where you're like, you go, I'm either listening to a podcast or a sales pitch. Like
I can't tell.
I can't tell if there's something that I got to buy here at the end. Or
it was like a guy making jokes about The Office, but I think it was Credit Suisse's podcast. I'm not entirely sure.
The Office is the new Anchorman for a group of people, right? Like,
right.
Where it's like that's
Chappelle Show.
It's become Chappelle Show still to this day, and especially these days with the transgender stuff, but still not like corporate acceptable. But The Office, it was a brilliant idea because everybody works at The Office, so they all think that it's literally like corporate humor. You know,
I've never worked in a cubicle.
Unbelievable. I've only worked in cubicles.
I've had a job building cubicles.
I mean,
assembling them.
Even this podcast studio is kind of a cubicle to me. I see it really. It's about.
So am I in a cubicle? Am I working in a cubicle?
I guess you're not. I don't want to. It's unbelievable to me that you've never worked in a cubicle, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I'm incapable.
I think that there is a large...
I also feel like you are too, though.
Of working... you know what? I will say that I've probably, cruised my way through a couple of gigs. Yeah. Where it was like, I definitely didn't do any of the things I was supposed to do. Like every day I worked 20 minutes. And I for sure should have been fired. I've cruised my way through a couple of those gigs.
This relates to a question I wanted to ask you, or a prediction I wanted to make. I don't know exactly what I'm about to do. But
by the way, this is gonna be. I have a lot of hope around this next statement.
But Tom Goss, friend of the show, but a lot of our listeners know he is. He was talking about how ever since he's known you, you've always had a vague like a job that you can't really explain what it is. Yeah. But it seems like it's decent money, but it's easy come, easy go. You're constantly losing these jobs, and then you're gaining new ones. And
there's sort of a white collar criminal sort of sect of the PMC, the professional managerial class.
Sure.
Like white collar work is not all. And I've always managed to hang out at those gigs where it's like, what we do is technically legal. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Right.
However, is it moral? You're going to have to talk to your rabbi about that.
That's between you and God.
It's between you and God,
sure.
And you can't talk about God at work.
Yeah.
So
it's a violation of the Constitution,
now,
the MLM Constitution.
Exactly. Now, my last job was clearly 1,000% morally dubious. I was wrong on all the levels. Mm-hmm. I think I may have shared on this podcast. I watched on that.
No cans, by the way?
Oh, you know what? I was thinking about doing 2 parts of the show. Part with the can on.
Just to see how it feels?
Kind of maybe the pre-rainbow. I feel like maybe I go no cans.
Oh, so now we're really sending the sign that we're starting the show.
I mean, it could have been a genius idea I just had at the beginning of the show.
I made a mistake.
Well, maybe we switch. Maybe when I put them on, you take them off for the rest of the show.
Right. That way you know who's in charge.
It's like one of us mentally checked out. Yeah. Guess which one it is, folks.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but here was my statement, prediction, feeling. When you walked into the room today, I feel like you've had a weird week.
Statement, prediction, feeling. I like that as a segment for the show.
Yeah.
What it is, I don't know. But I like the way it sounds.
The rhythm.
I like the rhythm. Yeah. I kind of see it on the screen right now. Oh, we got another edition of
Statement, prediction,
question.
Mike, I'm guessing that you had a weird week.
I've had a bizarre
The way you walked in, you seemed like just like you've been, I don't know. I want you to fill it in for me. What's going on with you?
I'm in such a rut in my life lately that I don't want to do antidepressants because I feel like that stuff always just doesn't go well with me. And also, I don't really like the way it works. Like, it's like, here's the thing is Zoloft. How long do I take it? Forever. That's just it. Forever. That's just the thing you do now.
Sure.
So I just sort of am like trying other things.
Do you resent your teeth as well?
What's that?
Do you resent your teeth for the daily care you have to take of them for your whole life?
I sincerely do. I resent every element. My teeth, my toes. I gotta cut my nails.
Yeah.
There's not a thing.
Any kind of forever task.
All of it. I resent all of it. We all do.
Yeah.
To some degree. But I'm looking for different methods, and there's this thing called TMS. Are you familiar with TMS? Have you heard of it? It's where they put a magnet on your brain and they fucking believe you me, I know it sounds insane. It sounds. Pull up TMS.
The act out didn't. It made me. It looked like they were picking up a crushed car in a junkyard. The way
it kind of is. Truly.
They hold you up in the air for like 30 seconds.
To be real with you, to tell you that my brain feels dissimilar than a crushed car in a junkyard would be a dishonest
Did I come
statement.
up with a great metaphor for them?
Well, listen, it's only going to work for like 4 people. The rest of their clientele is not interested in this. This is an expensive place where they either do this to you or they give you ketamine. Your choice.
And you chose the magnet over ketamine.
Ketamine to me, listen, know thyself. I mean, it was one of his rules. Everybody knows I have my 28 rules on a PDF coming out. I figure once I hit rule 28, remember what was mine? I had one last week. We'll play the tapes back. We'll figure out what it is.
Yeah.
I have one this week. It's my rules. It's Ramsey's 28 rules to generally follow.
Yes, if you want to succeed or whatever.
For a slightly better quality of life.
Yes.
I don't want to promise you satisfaction, but you know. My second rule is if you go to a vape shop and you buy a puff bar.
Are all these rules this long and such?
Well, it's you gotta create space for the book.
Rule 28 starts with if.
It's a PDF. Yeah, it's called yeah. All the rules are the chapter titles. So it says Rule 28, and it's the full thing.
And they're all hyper specific situational type rules. Like this is. Do you have a chapter on all vape shop rules?
Folks, here's what I'll tell you. If rule number 1, when you pop the book open, if rule number 1 resonates with you, the rest are going to resonate with you.
Gotcha.
If it doesn't work for you, put the book down. This is not your book.
So you just bought somebody a Christmas present.
You bought someone a Christmas present. Yeah, I'm about to throw it. You could, absolutely. I'll tell you what. Buy it and just hold on to it, and eventually you'll give it to the right person if it's not for you. But my rule is, if you go to a vape shop, this is rule number 2. You go to a vape shop, and the guy doesn't let you test the puff bar in the premises, you don't go to that vape shop anymore.
100%.
100%.
Is your mic on?
Check. Fifi. No.
Oh, God. Is he
Fifi.
going to do?
No.
Yeah, his mic's on. What do you can't hear him?
I couldn't hear him very well, but I hear you now.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Now, I would argue he's too loud now.
So
he has now become the loudest guy on the show.
Okay.
I've now entered the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, everybody, let's hear it for Ramsey Badawi.
This is like,
now, you just agreed with him with a yeah, absolutely. I didn't even understand what you just said.
So when you go to buy a puff bar.
Yes. What is a puff bar?
Puff bar is this little nicotine vape
It's a
bar.
specific kind of vape.
The puff bar has actually been discontinued in the United States. That's a matter. It's a little touchy to guys like Tyler and I, so we're not going to really talk about whether that's a good or a bad idea.
Sure.
But we're just going to accept the following things. It's been banned.
Okay.
This is a Puff Plus, I believe, now. You're supposed to test them because most of them are defective. It's a product most of which will be like, listen, there's a 70% chance you're going to hit it and it's going to be just pure, like it's going to hurt, it's going to burn, you're going to taste the oil in your mouth. Yeah, you can just throw that one away. We'll give you a new one.
But is it when it works, it's so good that it's like leagues above all the other ones?
Here's what I've ascertained. It's probably cost 2.5 pennies to make one of these, and they're selling it for $40.
Right.
And they got here, I think, by the million. So I think at some point they got here, they were like that, and they were like, listen, we can make so much money on these that we'll just have a policy that if one's bad, toss it, and just grab another one and hand it to the person.
So, but why do you buy that one if there are other ones that are not defective?
They're amazing.
It's all brands of vape has this problem.
Yes, this is a problem that falls with the disposable vape, which
Right.
I like how one community in the world, we have such a split in our society. Half of society is trying to, I'm bringing a bottle of water everywhere I go so I could fill up my own.
Yes.
The other half is I'm trying to figure out how to just make more waste. Vapes were like a thing. Remember you used to fill vapes? Remember people had their whole kits?
Yeah. Kevin Tinkin we had a friend who did that. He would have, it looked like fucking liquid heroin.
Something bizarre has happened. Yeah. Something bizarre has happened to where now it's like, listen, it's not cool to in the vape community. You gotta waste as much as possible.
Every new tech they want to empower you in your ability to fix it. Like if you buy an old car, like I'm talking 20s, if you got it in the way it rolled off the lot, it would come with all the tools to fix it. It would come with everything you need, like things you wouldn't even know how to use now.
Yeah.
And then eventually now you buy a car now, they make it so you can't even change the oil. You need you need a scientist to change the oil.
Yeah, it's like, do you know Python? Hey, I need to change my oil. You know, you're a Java code encryptor, right?
You know, C++.
Have you done any light cryptocurrency mining at the very minimum? Oh, you haven't done that? Oh, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. If you have a PhD in automotive sciences, like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to change the oil.
Can you beat that computer at chess? You know that computer at chess? Can you beat it? No. I probably would hold off on that one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit on that dirty oil. Yeah,
yeah, it's very true.
They're like, I think people are like, the first bite into like a new tech that's revolutionary, whether it be vape or a car or a computer. I think the first people are like, we want to know how this thing works inside and out. It's always nerds first.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where it's massively accepted and they're like, we don't give a fuck if it breaks, we're throwing it in a river.
Yeah.
I was watching a travel, I've been getting into falling asleep to travel vlogs with like really just, I like the guys with no personality, and they don't try to have personality.
Sure.
They're just dry as a fucking saltine. And it's just their camera and they're walking around like Samoa.
You know, it's kind of nice to watch people who aren't talented at stuff. That's why I like YouTube for the most part. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of really talented stuff on YouTube, but there's also a lot of stuff where you're like, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to bed right now, and I don't know if it's worth the $40 billion production that you put into this.
Right.
I like the idea that this guy, it's like at the end of the day, I'm falling asleep, but it's just him and his phone.
I know. I was watching Wyon, the Indian news channel that we watch on the show regularly. 5.12 million subscribers, whole news station, green screen.
In fairness, 5.21 million subscribers in India. You should kill yourself.
But I know, that's nothing.
We have more subscribers in India than that, truthfully.
But the whole to-do, it's like CNN in there.
It's a very...
And then you look at Russell Brand is like talking into a DSLR, same exact amount of subscribers.
Same amount of subscribers.
More sexier, though.
Agree, without a doubt. Dude, Russell Brand, let's be real. I
know, he's sexy.
We want to hate him, but the guy's so fucking cool.
I know. His vocabulary is so strong.
He dresses insane, but you're like, God damn it. After I watch Russell Brand for a few minutes, I literally go like, can I cut sleeves off of my shirt?
Can I take 2 buttons down? Should I take 2 buttons down right now? Do you think?
You're like, what if I did like a headband, kind of like the way, like you know, that mid-hair headband?
Yeah.
Could I pull that off? Like sort of a soccer player kind of thing? Like maybe I'll start wearing women's sunglasses. But he's so cool. You can't do it. He rules.
Hemp pants that are vaguely see-through. I'm like, am I seeing your cock right now?
Whatever position he has, everyone's on board with him. Like, dude, you're so
yeah,
great,
yeah.
man.
You're so hot. Like, you use big words and.
Oh, totally.
He doesn't even have to use big words.
No, not at all. Not at all. And but by the way, also used to bang Katy Perry. Pretty sick of him.
Cheated on her. That's how good he was doing.
I mean,
you gotta think about that. Cheated on Katy Perry. That's another level.
I tell you what, Russell Brand also has the greatest life because he got like, there's something to the point of being like, listen, now I'm known as the enlightened guy. Like, damn, dude, like to go from cheated on Katy Perry to now I'm the enlightened guy. Not a lot of people get to have that twist.
Yeah.
Listen, folks. I'm enlightened from the get go, and I'll tell you what, it's not by choice. No, believe you me, I'd love to cheat on Katy Perry. I would.
I know, right?
There's not a person I want to cheat on more than Katy Perry. Unfortunately, philosophy was for me from the beginning.
Oh man, it's so sick that all those girls that like not all of them, but a lot of them, the celebrity, like the hottest of the hot, they end up with dudes who cheat on them because the dudes are at their level too, so they're getting treated the same way. Everybody's getting treated no matter where you're at in the hierarchy. And Mario Lopez's ex-wife came out and said like a week after they got married, she found out he was in a Tiger Woods situation.
Whoa.
Where he had like 40, 50 girls he was maintaining relationships with.
To be honest with you, that seems low to me for a guy like Mario Lopez. I think that's on her. I'm just gonna say it. It's like, listen, you're dating Slater, dog.
Yeah,
like, what do you
I know.
The guy has never not been ripped.
I know. He's never not been ripped. He's never not had dimples.
Never not had
He's
beautiful
always,
dimples.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Doesn't age. It's like, I'm sorry. What do you want?
I
And
know.
by the way, has had a 6-figure job since he was like 12.
Yeah, dude. A conveyor belt of pussy is just dumping into his house at all times.
He took the right path in showbiz. He was like, I'm not going for nothing. I'm gonna host Access Hollywood. I'm gonna do 2 hours on Access Hollywood for 32 years.
I'll be played in every single dentist office or whatever.
They'll rerun Saved by the Bell forever, so I could bang any fresh out of high schooler I want. What do you want? I'll live my life. You know, I'll do my thing. I'm sure that's what Corey Savage, what's his name from Boy Meets World? Ben Savage.
Fred Savage.
Ben Savage.
Oh, Ben Savage.
That's the brother.
Ben Savage is out there. I'm telling you, he's fucked a couple of fresh out of high schoolers because there's shows that are like, look, this is perpetually going to be something for young kids, and they're going to love it always.
Yeah. I imagine those are tough waters to navigate.
Those are some challenging waters. I think I actually know a guy. I don't want to put him on blast. I may know a guy who banged Topanga. I may.
What?
Oh, that is so sick.
I did.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For real.
I don't know if it's true. Somebody one time said it about this person. I never verified
Is there a
it.
chance that I might know this person?
There's certainly a chance you might know this person. I'll tell you guys after the podcast, but here's the thing.
I'm writing it down.
It could be true. It's also most likely not true. However, it's such a great fact that I didn't even think to. I was like, you know what? I'm going to let you have that.
Yeah,
forever,
of
buddy.
course, dude.
I wish there was some mug. There's no muddy waters about me. This is another situation where it's like there's no rumors out there that I banged to bang.
Having a rumor about banging somebody and not actually banging them is a lot better because
It's way better.
Yeah, you didn't have to go through any of the nonsense.
You didn't have to go through it. Now, if he started it, also I kind of respect him for that.
awesome.
That's also cool.
That's a great rumor.
That's also smart. You know, he was like, listen, pick something that's kind of believable.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I banged Jessica Alba or,
Yes.
I banged whoever.
Aquafina. that's my most current woman that I could think of.
I could think of some current women, but I didn't want to be the guy who could pull off names of current women.
I don't know
away.
any current like cool chicks. Aquafina was where it goes.
Yeah. I know one because Sydney Sweeney. We talked about her, but she boxes.
She boxes?
She was going to be a pro kickboxer.
Regular boxing or Foxy boxing?
Lingerie boxing. Yeah.
Foxy boxing is real, right?
Will you look up Foxy boxing?
Foxy boxing is, I think, possibly like a legitimate like league of. I don't know if it's like
Lingerie
a league.
boxers.
It's like it's is the Puppy Bowl real? It's as real as the Puppy Bowl.
The Puppy Bowl is absolutely real.
The first thing that comes up is a VHS from 1986.
Yeah. To his solid.
There's gonna be some big hair on that one, dude.
If there's a YouTube clip, I think that if we've ever had a YouTube clip that was worth playing on the show.
The first sentence of the Wikipedia for Foxy Boxing reads, Foxy Boxing is a form of sports entertainment which involves 2 or more women.
Yeah. Sometimes I think there's a
Wow, they'd have like a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Just like 5 girls in teddies.
Yeah.
Just kind of slapping each other.
A royal boob bull. I'm trying to find some kind of,
For the world tittle.
What about Breastlemania?
Oh, Breastlemania is good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start there. Let's start the show at Breastlemania. Cut everything out except for Breastlemania.
You know what's funny? The negotiations for peace talks between Ukraine and Russia, they happened in the Brest region of Belarus, I believe. And I just
call that Russia, to be honest with you.
Do you think those? Yeah, Belarus. Yeah.
Call Russia.
It's just so. I would have just been giggling the whole time while they were like, oh, we're in the Brest region.
That's probably a good reason why you weren't there.
I was giggling. But did you see the pictures of that? The Ukrainians, they showed up in fatigues like they're Castro now.
Oh, you guys are still following the Ukrainian thing?
Yeah.
I tapped out, bro. I'm done.
Dude, it's just so funny that they're like, if Zelensky wins this war, he's gonna have to wear a military uniform. He's gonna be that kind of leader for the rest of his life.
Can we put a pin in this and we'll come back to it?
Okay.
We'll just put a pin in it and come back to it. We'll watch Foxy Boxing as our sound check for the day. We need to know that our systems are working properly. And also, to be honest with you, wouldn't mind for me to beat off real quick and get one out before we start the show. So Foxy Boxing.
Oh, he
let's
found
just do
one.
it. Okay.
Oh, it looks fucking awesome. I can't wait.
I'm excited. Tyler will have to use. We do have the jack off bathroom here, Tyler. So if you are going to get into something, please.
I mean, this first frame is.
Oh wow.
All I'm saying, Tyler, is follow all the directions. In
No
the jack
gloves.
bathroom.
They don't wear gloves.
If it's bare knuckle, I'm going to the bathroom.
What if we hit play and it's fucking brutal? Like,
Yeah.
Fucking
Just
teeth.
elbowing her face.
Like the reason why it's not on the air anymore is because it was like too many people got CTE from it.
They all got arrested for murder.
Super hot chicks with CTE.
Oh my God. Shooting themselves in the chest at the breast implant.
Hey, most women already act like they
Factory.
have CTE. All right, let's watch it.
So they get them drunk first, obviously.
Oh God.
She's pouring water on her T-shirt.
This is such a relic of history.
I know.
I don't even know if we can now. We can't monetize this episode for sure now.
Look at that. There's a dude in a USC tank top. Yeah.
He's
so fired up. He was massaging the boxer. I didn't see that.
He was massaging her shoulder.
They don't tape their hands.
Of course not. Well, I mean, what are they worried about?
Hit pause. The trainer, just so everybody knows, the corner. By the way, look at the guys in the background. Dudes in the background, sitting there, kind of playing with their dicks.
Yeah, those shorts are so small that they could just kind of beat off.
Just riding it up.
Those shorts are tiny on all those dudes.
This is the way that the trainers are treating the boxers. Kind of remind me of the way Trump treated Hillary during the during the debates. Like he's standing behind her, rubbing her shoulder.
Yeah.
It's how also Bush treated Angela Merkel. Remember?
Yes, I do remember.
Bush would be like playing with her earlobes. She'd be like trying to give a speech on how Germany is about to go into the next world war and take over all of Europe.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see here. So it looks like 16-ounce gloves.
Yeah, I mean, it's so clearly
round 3. Oh, so they've been
going at it for a minute. Yeah.
Look how tiny that ring is. They are in a phone booth, dog.
Not a ton of diversity, by the way, anywhere. Like I have not seen anybody who isn't an Aryan.
There's a black guy right there.
Black dude where?
Right on the far right of the screen.
Seemed like he was pretty far back there.
No. Oh, she did a spinning fucking. Man, look at the referee. He is a sleazeball.
I would be willing to venture that I'm curious about the black dude who's there. I want to know. Is he rich? This seems. Oh, dude, they're going at it.
There's a black guy right above. Look.
Okay.
Man, she is punching the shit out of it.
I like how she's working the body.
Yeah, no, she's going body, head. She got her down.
She
kicked her.
Okay.
The best thing I've ever seen.
I'm not exaggerating when I say though, it's like a 99% Aryan audience. It's not even white. I mean, we're looking at blonde, blue eyes.
I guarantee this is in Huntington Beach. I guarantee
it can't be. No, if we can see where was this filmed. I wouldn't mind, by the way, if we just kind of kept this on quietly in the background throughout the entire show.
She just need her ass. She just need her pussy.
Yeah, well, that's extra points when they score. You're gonna notice when
she's an 11 for the round.
This is the other girl coming back. Amy Baxter came up. Oh, Sugar Ray Renee.
Yeah, of course. Now we know why they named her that.
Yeah.
She's fucking got those.
She fights so sweet, she gives you diabetes.
Yeah, she's got those. Oh my God.
No!
She's about to knock her. Okay, she's going haymaker. Okay, she's now doing windmill punches.
She knocked her through the ring.
Okay.
This is awesome. What the fuck?
Yeah, this is basically.
Can we pivot the subject matter of this podcast?
Yeah, this is what we do now. We just cover Foxy boxing, 1981 through 2000.
Dude, was she really knocked out cold?
No, this is WWE. Dog. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. They got the guy.
Who is that?
He's the guy who drives the limo that delivers the chicks.
He looks like the guy who played the Olympic bomber in that Clint Eastwood movie.
He's like the guy in Sopranos. It's gonna be $50 to you gotta.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. He's the guy who delivers the escorts. If I've ever seen him in movies. Okay, and look how she's bouncing in a way where it's like they clearly. Yeah. Let me tell you right now. First of all, who is producing that? Roger Ailes? Like what?
No, who's that? Larry Flint, dude.
That was a legitimate production. It was clear to me that they all had direction.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, when she starts windmilling you, like,
yeah.
Whoever was willing to wiggle their titties more won the match. To me, that would be how I guessed it worked.
Those are the women that like come out against me too. Like those old girls that have like plastic surgery and they're like, well, how are men ever going to ask you out now?
I just want to say, you ladies hate Tommy Loren. Guess what? If you allowed us to still do Foxy boxing, Tommy Loren would be out there Foxy boxing. But now we forced her into a career in YouTube. We fucking bend her arm behind her back. She wants to be out there Foxy boxing.
She'd be a 3-weight class champion in Foxy boxing.
Candace Owens? Oh, you know she'd be Foxy boxing if we allowed her to do it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, folks, we took that away from them.
Yeah,
So,
she'd be decrying feminism while boxing.
well, I'm saying she would get that part out of her system.
yeah. And listen, we would all enjoy watching it because we can't sit here and pretend Candace is not a little hot.
Here's the truth. No matter who you are, as an intellectual, whatever you are, I'd also like to see you fight.
Yeah.
If there was some way for me to get Jordan Peterson and Scott, what's that guy's name? Scott Harris, Sam Harris.
Sam Harris, yeah.
If I could see both of them box one another, that would be amazing.
Yeah, would it though? That sounds like a boring fight.
Yeah.
I would. Well,
They're too friendly.
For me, for a guy who kind of likes a little slower pace and things,
You like a good defensive chess match?
I would watch it the same way you watch golf or something. Where you're like, listen, I'll come back in a couple hours. You tell me what happened.
Dude, I went with Tyler to a NASCAR event. You have never seen so much Let's Go Brandon, Trump as Rambo on flags. There was one Confederate flag because it's been banned from there. And
Is there at least a progressive wing of NASCAR fans where you
not
go
that
like,
I saw, but they were all so nice. We were talking to everybody, and everybody was so peaceful and so nice.
That's a thing. I don't know what it is, but they talk about it. It's like you want them as your neighbors, but not as your senators or something.
Right. Yeah.
Some kind of cool saying I wish I would have made up and put on a bumper sticker 22 years ago.
Yeah, it was really cool. I want to start following NASCAR like the Grateful Dead or whatever.
I will say that I stay consistent. I don't watch real sports. I'm not going to watch this version of it. I hear you. But it's like, it would be disrespectful to my friends who actually watch real sports.
You don't watch amateur wrestling?
Well, listen, I do watch pre-taped matches, yeah, of course, but they're from the 80s.
Did you know Mario Lopez was a great wrestler?
Yeah, of course.
No,
Man.
I didn't know
Claremont High School. He was filming Saved by the Bell, and he went back to do CIF.
He was
wow.
in Saved by the Bell. In fact, I'll say this: he did inspire me to get into wrestling. When I got into wrestling, in high school.
You saw him in that leotard singlet. Excuse me.
I thank you.
That's from both of us.
Leotard is what do I look like? Some kind of a ballet dancer? You idiot! I'm a wrestler.
Singlet.
Greco-Roman. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Two tough-sounding things.
Yeah. Two very homosexual cultures.
Didn't exist back then.
Right.
I think I told you. I found out recently Alexander the Great was gay.
Alexander the Gay.
Bro, I stumbled into his bullying name. I didn't even realize that that's what the kids would have bullied him as.
This is how a man takes over the world.
Listen, man, all I'll say is it changed my perspective of him, but honestly for the more positive. I actually saw him as extra straight after hearing that. I was like, dude was probably like so busy with war, was like, whatever, I'll fuck Aristotle.
Yeah, let me fuck the nearest asshole. I got shit to do.
I got shit to do, dog.
Yeah.
You know what? That's extra straight.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not gay. I just enjoy a good conversation, and I can only get that from men.
I'm like, hell yeah, Alexander the Great. Dude, this is the kind of material we need to be throwing out there, folks.
Alexander the Gay.
Homophobic Alexander the Great material. Homophobic historical humor. Pretty soon we're going to talk about the Spartans. Very close. We're almost there on the show.
We're almost there.
Okay, wait. What were we talking about before Foxy boxing?
Ukraine.
Just clip that.
It could very well be true.
Yeah, Ukraine. We were talking about Ukraine.
Well, we know that listen, we know that it all works. Let's just leave it there.
Foxy boxing.
Foxy boxing. We know that our sound is up and running. We're good there.
I was laughing earlier today with my friend about how just pretend in an imaginary world Ukraine wins this war. Mm-hmm. Like,
can I ask you to put a pin in that? Put a pin in that because I really want to show one more video.
Okay.
And the reason why I want you to put a pin in that is because I have thoughts on this.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to spill them all out right now. I want you to finish listening to the episode.
You think people are logging in just to hear
That's what I think is true.
our takes on Ukraine and Russia?
I think that's what we do better than anything. In fact, I think that if we don't say that that's what we do better than anything, we're fucked.
You're right. 100%. That is the best thing we do. What's the next video you want to pull up?
But I want to talk about my TMS thing.
Oh, your magnet
Too much
on your
sex?
brain.
Okay. So TMS is this thing where they put a magnet on your brain and they can stimulate part of your brain where they think
The sadness is...
they think they know where it's at, right? It's the prefrontal cortex, whatever. And First of all, by the way, they mapped mine out. I'm gonna be playing with mine when I get up. I'm rubbing it with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
hitting it with a car battery. Just trying
You're making 9 volts and just sticking them on there. Yeah.
Dude, now that I know where it's at, it's like, it's over, dog. I'll never go back to the office again.
Dude, there is no, like all we've been doing since we discovered the prefrontal cortex has been fucking with it.
Yeah.
That's what, lobotomizing it, electrocuting it, magnetizing it.
Yeah.
What is going on with it? What is it? Does any of it work?
You know what? It's like some of it works. Sometimes, like, electroshock therapy is still not. People still use it. Like,
Yeah. Somebody.
Gary Goldman, I think, was shocked. I think he did it.
Yeah,
it's
yes.
like it's a thing that's common, but we look at it as like barbaric. But it's
Dick
because
Cavett, the talk show host, says it saved his life. He did it in the 80s. He said it saved his life.
But it is like cruel for like, I guess 45% of the pop. Like that's the life that we have to live now. Where
Well,
it's
we
like,
used to we would pick somebody, like the cops would pick some guy up with a joint, and they would say he was schizophrenic, and that's why he was smoking weed. And they would electroshock his brain. I mean, that's different when you like arrest somebody and chain him to a chair and electrocute him.
we don't have much of a choice in this, especially in our country, the greatest country on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Especially right now, that needs to be said.
Yeah, I like when guys say that. I like when
yeah.
they have to. I like that there's Americans who have their version, because I grew up with Muhammad, peace be unto the prophet. Like, there are guys in this country who, when they say the United States, they have to pause and be like, the greatest country ever.
Only country worth paying $5 a gallon at the pump for.
604 today, buddy. I got to tell you, I saw 604 today. I understand we're in California and it's a little bit different, but I tell you, man, I was looking at that and thinking, I want to talk about this to somebody, but LA is the only city in the world where people go like, you care about the gas prices? What are you, fucking poor?
Yeah.
Embarrassing in the city.
Your car uses gas?
In this city, is legitimately embarrassing to talk about gas prices.
I know.
You're like, listen, I don't know about you guys, but I'm absolutely below the federal poverty line.
Yeah. I'm devastated right now.
So 604, and remember, I couldn't help, and listen, I understand there's inflation, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I couldn't help remembering the hatred towards Bush, where they're like, 248.
After Katrina.
248 a gallon, you motherfucker. And now I'm looking at 604 going, I'm not saying this is Biden's fault, but there was that connection. We're stupid that way.
You want to know?
We have to connect it.
Here's one of the most boring things I could ever say, but is really interesting in my own brain. I saw 69 cents a gallon one time.
That is interesting. I will say
I
that's
saw
interesting.
69 cents a gallon.
It probably says something more about me that I find that interesting. I'm like, I love old guy talk. Where I'm like, 69 cents a gallon. Are you kidding me? How much was milk? Like, I want to know everything.
This is like right after 9/11 in Georgia. 69 cents.
Was that just like as a
I think
patriotic
Saudi
thing?
Arabia was probably like, take a few free barrels. We don't really want you looking at our because gas got super cheap.
Bro, you know after 9/11 when whoever was, I think King Abdullah was, I think at that time MBS was like a de facto president or
Not
king.
even yet.
One of them,
Dude, he was early teenager during 9/11.
King Abdullah.
Yeah.
King Abdullah, he was like fucking, he lost his mind. He was like Alzheimer'd out by the end of his gig. So there was a couple years where they had to, King Faisal stepped in.
Yes, King Faisal.
Such a fucking
Yeah, because
idiot. I'm so fucking stupid. How do I not remember it's King Faisal?
MBS is only like 35.
The People's King.
Yeah.
I still stand King Faisal from 14 years ago. That's how much
The coup, the great coup that never, the bloodless coup.
King Faisal, had he stuck around in power, had he not been so weak, he was like, he brought arts to Saudi Arabia. He made it legal to have TV. Like, he was he was their FDR.
Yeah, there was going to be porn coming in. Like
I mean, come on. I don't know about that, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It was going to get westernized.
It was going to get very westernized. I mean, now it's
That's
westernized.
always the story. If you see a Middle Eastern country, if you see a guy with sideburns, you know that a cultural revolution is going to happen and it's going to become extremely Sharia within 10 years.
Just know, this won't end. This is going to end in a, as the investors say, a bear market for freedom.
Right.
This is not going to go well. People like swinging the other way.
Did you watch the State of the Union address?
You know what? That's something I'm out. I was like, I didn't even watch it. I did not.
Well, this is about gas prices. So one thing he said, he goes during the State of the Union address, he's talking about how Americans are feeling the hurt at the pump or whatever. And he goes, that's why we've negotiated a deal with OPEC or whoever to release 30 or 60 million barrels of oil.
Yeah.
And then I just went.
They were just hanging on it.
I don't know whether I go, hey Siri, how many barrels of oil does the United States use in a day? And she said 19. And I was like, oh, we got a week's worth of oil. That'll lower the prices, I'm sure.
This is
that number sounds so amazing. 60 million barrels of oil won't last 7 days.
This is the thing I find, and listen, part of the greater, I think, almost message here, and it's I included with the Ukrainian stuff, and I'll talk about that in a second, but it's just over because you go like, that's such the much that we depend on fossil fuels is insane, right?
19 million barrels a day.
And the fact that makes a difference, but then also it's like, what's our hope? Electric cars. Who's the electric car guy? Yeah. Elon Musk. We hate Elon Musk more than anything. Well, why do we hate Elon Musk? Well, the batteries, they come from Colombia and they do another thing. And you go, well, then we should just all kill ourselves.
The Congo.
This ain't going to get it. What are you waiting for? What is going to happen then?
California's particularly funny because being the wokest state, I was looking at all the Russian oil we buy, most of it comes to California. We use almost all the Russian oil. Yeah. We also use the most amount of oil from Ecuador, which right now there's a leak going on. They're just filling the rainforest with crude oil right now because of this huge leak. And that's like, California is like a pipeline from Ecuador to Russia. It's hilarious. I mean, it's all, you look in any direction and then you have no, so that's why anybody who has an answer for you is a fucking liar.
It's not even, but you know what I also think is true is that a lot of times they're not. A lot of times you're like, yeah, both. There are two opposing points of view, and they're both pretty fucking good. They make a great point.
Well, it's like, what do you want? Do you want oil wars, and do you want global warming, or do you want little babies scraping their fingernails, like little slaves scraping for fucking whatever that shit is in the batteries?
If you want to, by the way, you want electric, it's like fossil fuels are without a doubt, not only are they fueling climate change, but they're also wars. I mean, it's all wars. The most Muslims in the world live in like Malaysia or Indonesia, one of those ones. How come there's never been a plane from there? How come there's never a civil war in Malaysia or any of the other stuff? Obviously, the problem is Arabs. Now it's like I gotta take it to Arabs. Like, it's obviously it's those filthy that have no. But obviously, it's like oil. So it's like, it's okay, fine. You want an electric car? You want a fair price electric car? Because it's going to be $400,000 to get a battery the fair price way.
Well, also, and then, okay, now we all rely on electric cars. You don't think there'll be wars over the resources for electric cars?
Then there's also...
Those wars will just shift to those countries.
Oh, they're there. They're already there. We're doing coups in all of the South American countries.
Yeah, Congo, China owns Congo now.
So, ultimately, I guess my feeling is... There's nothing you can do but kill yourselves, ladies. Like, we should just all...
Ladies only?
Ladies. So, 23 years as a Muslim. I apologize. Slips out once in a while.
The only thing you can do is kill yourself, ladies.
And gentlemen. And, of course, everybody in between.
Yeah, and around.
And our calls for you to end your own life... We're inclusionary around here. We don't care what race you are. We don't care what religion, what creed. Kill yourself. Yeah. It's the only solution.
It truly is.
Because
if you care. If you don't care, which we don't, we're going to keep on living.
So when people go, oh, really? You like Elon Musk? Well, what about the island wars that he's causing? You're like, yeah, you're right. And then it's like, but also he is the guy he's the guy who made Tesla the most it's the highest evaluated, company in its class, which means that now everybody wants to do it. Right. So,
dude, I was talking to an oil and gas lawyer yesterday.
Of course, everybody knows my backup career. I've always told people, like, when people go, what do you do? Comedy doesn't work out. Oil and gas attorney.
Yeah, this guy was like worked for Chevron, worked for a couple other companies. And it's so funny too because people were so opposed to the Keystone Pipeline for environmental reasons and for violating Native American reservations and Standing Rock, all that stuff. And he goes, you know what the real reason they canceled the Keystone Pipeline is? He goes, it's not economical. Like the problem is like getting the oil from the Keystone. There's still a lot of trucking involved, and the overhead of it just there was just no profit to be made there.
Yeah.
And this is just an open secret that everybody that business knows. And I was like, well, why don't the Democrats come out and say, hey, it wouldn't work economically? And he goes, because that takes an environmental victory and makes it a symbolic victory. It's not, they lose their moral high ground.
And with social media today, it's like now it's just so
the more you look into this stuff, it's never what it is. It's never what they say it is. Well, blah, blah, blah. But yeah,
But also, I believe anybody who says anything like that. Like, if you just told me that, like, if you were just like, that's now I'm gonna walk around going like, I like the way that sounded.
I believe him. I mean, he's the only oil and gas lawyer who worked for Chevron that I know.
It's a fair point.
You know what I mean? Like
all the other ones we know work for BP.
Yeah, and they're British. I don't trust them. They're goofy
with their weird laws, and they start barristers.
They call
the wigs. Barristers.
Yeah.
If somebody introduced to me as themselves as a barrister, I'd be like, yeah, I guess here are my keys. You could go. I would be like,
can I get an oat milk latte iced?
Damn, yours is better. That's the one that makes more sense. A barrister does sound like a British Starbucks employee.
Yeah.
But it's their attorney.
Hello, I'll be a barrister. How do you take your coffee? I went Australian.
And I'll tell you what, if that was Russell Brand, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, full circle. He's not wearing a shirt underneath his thing. The electric. Oh wait, it's not electric shock therapy. It's TMS. You want to look up a video of it really quickly so I could just show?
Well, I have a couple pictures of what it looks like.
They got to see the picture.
Yeah, it looks like a Tool album.
Right,
I like that. Tyler's like, well, listen, I know we could show the video, which would demonstrate your full. Full point. But what about a 2D representation that doesn't have any of the things?
So the people I'm seeing in the thumbnails,
not great.
They all look sad. So I will say it feels like last branch on the tree on the way down.
Could very well be. Folks, it could very well be.
The T stands for transcranial.
Yeah, so it's transcranial magnetic stimulation. And it is a fairly promising.
Have you started
treatment.
it?
I actually literally just came from my first one. So why
maybe that's why your energy was a little weird
when I came in. What they do,
I thought you'd been roaming the streets all night, like every night, walking around.
Well, that's true too. But
that's
only because there's good pickings to eat at that point. And I do that to prove a point that Americans waste way too much food.
You're eating 7-Eleven off the ground
to prove that Americans are too wasteful.
That's your supersize me.
True story. I haven't paid for food since 2007.
Wow. And that's why you look so svelte.
That's why it looks so great. Could explain the horrifying depression, the debilitating depression. Maybe could be explained by the fact that I've eaten a ton of 7-Eleven pizza, but.
You would think they should just start popping antidepressants into the sauce.
7-Eleven pizza?
Into the pizza sauce,
My man, you just walked into it. That's
oregano and Zoloft.
It would not be a bad idea. I'll tell you what. Why not just an energy drink? Why do you think we're here, folks? We're probably here at the energy drink aisle because we have depression. Make a Zoloft.
They're like, then you would never drink us again.
No, that's not true. If you put a Zoloft in a nice fizzy, kind of grapefruity, sort of Mountain Dewy kind of, I would be chugging that daily.
Right. It's like baby medicine.
We might fix this entire country with this idea. This may be the idea that
we make a happy energy drink and we put it with. Is there a way to not tell people there's Zoloft in there?
You know what? I am gonna have to talk to the attorneys that I know at BP about that one. That's a tough one. Those guys are good with those laws.
International law.
They're good with water laws specifically and pipes and stuff like that. So we'll talk to them about.
Well, technically, if your bottling plant is in the Maldives,
that's interesting. That reminds me of Scott versus Arkansas.
Oh, they're like, what do you think natural flavoring is?
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
If we could get Zoloft under natural flavoring.
Yeah. Well, listen, as we all know, if you could do that, we would start with a boner energy drink before we got to depression one.
Yeah, 100%.
Just capitalism, the way it works.
Yeah.
However, capitalism is beautiful because we still have boner pill energy drinks. Next thing you know, we now have the desire. First of all, people are going to be really depressed because they can't get boners on their own. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a demand for it. But also there's like that wealth, that's created. It's like one successful app begets a million successful apps.
Right. I see what you're saying.
We're all the grandchildren of, Abraham or Cumtown in the podcast world.
Sure.
Did you know they have boner energy drinks already?
Listen, I
saw it at 7-Eleven today.
I understand that you can put one together that goes, listen, this has Tiger Beak or whatever, bullshit. It's a boner pill in a drink is what that is. I want to see like Cialis, they have Blue Chew and all that stuff. Like that shit's generic now. I want to see that crushed into an energy drink. I want the real deal.
Right.
What's not something phenol?
Modafinil?
No, it's called something like tridophenol or something.
I don't know.
Well, I've seen it enough times.
Wait, let's watch this video. This woman is about to get some transcranial magnetic.
I just realized why I've seen
stimulation.
it so many times is because when you're depressed, your Instagram obviously knows it. And so my Instagram, I realized my feed.
I actually I highlighted an article I wanted to talk about, but I didn't get it sent to you in time. But Dartmouth researchers have developed like an AI that legitimately diagnoses your mental disorders through your social media posting.
Bro, for sure.
Which I believe I could do that without Dartmouth money. I think it's pretty easy to see.
It's like you don't post for a month, and then you did 6 in one day.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Hello, bipolar. Yeah.
I just realized, me too.
Yeah.
No, but beyond that, it's like, dude, look,
Anyway, that's a
hook
dude.
me up to your Spotify. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you listened to nothing but John Mayer last month. Like,
Right.
something is wrong. I don't know what.
Yeah. If you catch, like, you look at mine, it's like every one of these songs was written in 2003.
Yeah.
When you were in high school.
Interesting.
You gonna kill yourself?
Yeah. You can't fuck to any of these songs. What's going on, buddy? Like, are you purposefully leaving out fucking songs? Like, I can tell by looking at your Spotify list. Have you fucked in the last, although, we know my rule. I don't fuck to any music with a male singer.
Right.
I never did that, and now I'm all about it.
With a male singer?
Oh, dude, I didn't know The Weeknd just makes fuck music.
Hilarious.
All his music is fuck music.
God.
I love it. Ow. I love that. I love when Tyler's got the line of the show. It kind of bothers me, but I like
Yeah. I didn't know The Weeknd made fuck music.
Bro, I just gave myself.
Name The Weeknd alone.
I just undid all. The amount that I smashed my head on that microphone just undid all of whatever therapy.
That was a $3,000 my head hit right there.
It really is like, there's no doubt that the guy who does this is gonna
Will
be
you
like,
not go through like metal detectors now? Because you're like, I'll get really depressed if I walk through this metal detector.
I go, listen, if I walk this metal detector, I'll explode. So it's probably not a good idea. Now, Tyler, listen, I applaud your progressiveness. I applaud your openness, your comfort, and your masculinity.
I don't think I could fuck to a woman singing.
If I fuck to a guy singing, all I'm thinking is, oh, you're picturing yourself fucking him. I'm sure you are.
I don't really listen to music that women sing.
Yeah, well,
like not a lot.
Hey, Spotify, thank you, Spotify. Like, again, Spotify could have told you this. Spotify could have looked at you and been like, let's get him on adultfriendfinder.com. Or whatever. Like, obviously, this dude is jerking it 9 times a day. He has no idea what women think or into.
No, like when I make like a playlist for my girlfriend, I'm like, I gotta
Google woman singer.
I know. There's like, I got my few that I really like. I like Patsy Cline a lot. I like Aretha Franklin. I got a few in there that I really like. I like Nico from the Velvet Underground. But I've already used all those songs. So
we gotta take you to some kind of a class, some kind of a women's appreciation class.
I mean, I've listened to a lot of it. It's just not my thing.
New segment on the show. Women are gonna call in and give Bryan facts about women, and you're gonna use those facts on your girlfriend to impress her.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? Just like things, and that's.
I like that. I'm a bitch. I like that song.
Yeah. That song,
That's a good one.
Listen, I'm trying to come in with my favorite female artist.
What's going on? That one's not bad,
bro. I like Paramore. Come on, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
I don't know.
You've never heard Paramore before?
No.
Oh, really?
Bryan, are you this sick? Are you this like? Are you this? To me, I would say, from my understanding of Carl Jung, you're suppressing something. To not hear Paramore at this point in your life, I'm like,
maybe I have. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm avoiding Paramore.
It's sick. You're sick, dude.
What? Because I don't like what you like? I'm sick?
Hey, Tyler, can you write down to remind me to give Bryan the number of my transmagnetic stimulator guy? See if he can stimulate the part of Bryan's
I like
brain.
Carole King.
Okay.
I like her. Yeah, I like Carole King.
Should we play Paramore for Bryan really quickly just to see if he knows who they are? Just play the most famous one. Yeah, hit him with the most famous one. Don't give me anything off of Brand New Eyes or anything off of...
Did they sing... no, that's Coldplay. Never mind. I was singing Coldplay.
You really don't know this much about mainstream music?
Hand to God. Hand to God. I've never been interested in anything mainstream.
Paramore, I will say, maybe to me is maybe not... I mean, they're a fairly well-known group of artists. Is that a cat meowing or was that Paramore?
The first noise was odd.
She's a phenomenal vocalist, but I think it's a time of it's sort of an age group that's into Paramore.
Like Tammy Wynette.
It's like not old, but not too old, but also kind of old.
Yeah.
Like old.
What's that band that sings
2008.
Maps?
Just say 2008.
Yeah.
What?
What's that band that sings Maps? Do you like them?
No, I met them though.
What
They're
about
very cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Did you hear that Olivia Rodrigo? You know Olivia. Okay.
I do. I know who that is.
This is not the show, but okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
stole a
Yeah,
song
yes.
from Paramore. Oh, we got another one?
No, he's asked the Map song.
You're no on the
I don't
AAS.
like the AAS.
Me
But I met them and they're very nice.
I like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's one of the best Supreme Court
Yeah,
justices.
she's a great rapper.
Come on, dude.
Should we put the video up or not the video up to play the song?
Yeah, just play the song. I just want to see if he's.
Here we go. This video has 392 million views.
Okay, so they're fairly popular.
Yeah.
You understand?
Not in India.
It's true. They're one of the smallest bands in India.
Oh,
But,
this is from the soundtrack to Twilight.
okay. This is not a popular song then. It's not going to be a popular song.
Is Suburban their most famous song?
Misery Business is their most famous song. Are you fucking... Am I the only one here in their 30s? Folks.
No, I'm in my 30s.
Like it's not even a thing that anybody says. Am I the only one here in my 30s, folks? Come on. Misery Business.
She looks pretty hot in this video.
Not that I was into it.
But I don't know if she's of age. So
She
maybe cut that out.
was, I think, not of age during that video, but she eventually became of age, so you're lucky.
All I saw was a half-second tab.
You're completely fine. As long as a girl becomes of age, you're okay.
Worst lawyer ever.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Sharia law. I don't know how American law works. I'm not sure how American law works, but
Listen, just don't kill her until.
listen, I don't know how American law works, but in Iran, I've gotten 3 guys off already on that defense.
All right, let's hear this. I want to hear if I recognize this. Okay. Are we supposed to talk over this so that we don't get copyright?
That's a good point. We may get copywritten.
Yeah.
This riff already, you hate it. I can tell.
This corporate punk bullshit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this sucks.
You know what's so funny about this band is when
I could write this song in 5 seconds.
when they had a falling out in their band where one of the guys who was in the band left, and he wrote this long blog post about how he was like, the band is like, it's completely a corporate fucking ruse from the get-go. Like, this chick, her dad's rich. He basically got a deal with some record label, one of the major ones, and they farmed her out to a small record label and basically said, we want to make it look like you guys grew organically from the ground up and people can follow you or whatever. And when I read that story, I was like, that is awesome. What a cool story. I was like, that's smart. Like, to be like, it's the way Japanese people got their people into coffee.
Right.
You know, it's like through this long game
with the
candy.
Yes.
Where it was like, it's smart. Where you
And
like
the sodas, coffee flavored soda.
Yeah, let's not just throw this band.
Coffee flavored soda's good, dude.
What are people gonna hate more in that scene than a corporate shill of a band?
That's kind of like, isn't that a little bit what they did with the girl from Licorice Pizza? Like her band was like all famous people or wealthy people's kids, and
They're
like
sisters.
Their
But
sisters.
Paul Thomas Anderson was friends with their parents.
Yes, they're
Something
sisters.
like- yeah.
They're sisters. Listen, they're Jewish sisters who are in their 20s, who are in a band together, who grew up in LA. I'm not sure what it is about that equation, but when I hear it, I go, for sure money. Like, for sure somebody.
Yeah. Inside job.
I know people like that in LA where there's 2 kinds of people you meet who grew up in LA. Really on the borderline, like our buddy Chris.
Yep.
Who like where you're like could have easily gone either direction, gangbanger or whatever. Or it's like that guy's dad applied for him to get into a kindergarten.
Yeah.
And he went to some school that's in Studio City that only 2 people know about.
Like Billie Eilish.
All the rich kids, like pretty much every kid who comes out of everyone who's famous went to that high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Harvard Lake. Or
Harvard Westlake.
Harvard West.
Yeah.
Or it's like, listen, 10 people a day die at that school. And you just have to accept it. They don't even call the cops.
Yeah.
They don't do anything.
You look up notable alumni on the Wikipedia page, it's all athletes.
Yes. It's boxers. It's people who did yes, it's not badminton athletes.
No. Dude, this neighborhood alone, there's 4 boxers, the famous boxers from this neighborhood.
I really found this is like almost one of the most beautiful experiences I had in my life today was talking to a dude at a dispensary. It was the security guard. And we were waiting or whatever. And this guy was like tatted up the neck, tatted up the ear, just like he's a security guard at a weed shop. But he's talking to me about how his son, he's like, my sons are all boxers. Like, I got my sons into boxing. They go to school. They leave school and they immediately they start boxing. They do whatever. And I just kind of got the vibe while talking to the guy. I'm like, oh, this dude for sure was in it in his life, like was in the hood, was fucking living a horrible life, and like steered himself just enough out of it and gave his kids like structure. And you're like, that's so much more valuable than like a rich, whatever.
You just described my father to a T. My father coming out of absolute chaos in project housing, just evicted.
And you go, well, listen,
he got a government job.
Anyone would look at this guy and go like loser, like he did what he's doing, but then you hear a story and you're like, Jesus, dude,
that's a fucking success story.
This is a success story. Now I would kill myself if I was him.
Yeah. No, I'd rather die than be him.
Now I would literally.
Of course.
It's the worst life I could ever imagine to be like. Not because
he's working next to an ATM.
Exactly, not because of what he's doing, but because he's at a place in his life where he's like, I need enough money because I got kids and whatever, and the only way that I can get that nut is if I stand in the most robbable, half legal, whatever. But that's the thing, is people like that also might enjoy it.
He might hate tattoos. It might just be the thing it's like putting on a suit for him.
Yeah.
He had to put on the suit.
He's got one of those Under Armour shirts with tattoos on it.
Yeah, exactly. The nylon sleeves.
You know what I like to think though, the more I think about this guy is I go, comedians sometimes think that they have to go like, listen, I love comedy, but what if I could kind of like do comedy-ish, but like get a good life with it? Like maybe I'll write funny greeting cards or whatever.
Yeah.
Security guard at a dispensary must be that version of gangster where you're like, I want to hold a gun. I want to hold the gun. I like holding a gun.
I can't be a cop. I don't want to be in a gang.
I don't want to be in a gang. I don't want to be a cop. Maybe I could be a cop. I don't fucking want to be a cop. What's sort of the way that I can live me in the most legit way possible? And it's like, listen, I fucking hold a gun. It's
yeah, that compromise.
I guard weed.
Yeah.
You think all the security guards smoke weed on the job?
No.
I've delivered weed to a security guard before.
You know what? I wanted to say yes, except that I know a couple of guys who are maybe the most serious security guards I've ever seen in my life who work those dispensaries. And you want to laugh at them, but the truth of the matter is it's the most dangerous profession because it's still like half legal, half not legal on the federal side. Like,
I don't know what it's like in LA, but all the security guards in the Bay Area are Samoans. Is that popular here?
I've seen Samoan security guards here. But in LA, I see a lot of Russian security guards. Like I see people where I'm like, this guy was in the KGB without a question about it. Or was like trained to be in the KGB, but took a hit of weed one time. And now he's here kind of thing. Like he was a mistake. Smoked weed, but
I've seen many Russian security guards that are you can tell because they're like also fashionable in
they're
their
kind of
Russian,
fashionable
in their security outfit.
He went to a rave and he heard that "Wake Me Up" song and he shed a tear and it was a disgrace and he could no longer show his face in Russia anymore. So he had to go be a security guard.
There's a guy that I'm thinking of where I go, you obviously are a very capable guy. There's something that vibe about you. I'm like, I can tell by the way your gun is holstered that you're trained.
Yeah. You could snitch on the whole apartment complex like that, get everybody arrested.
This dude is
but he can get information.
But he's like one of the most sober looking people I've ever seen.
He pats you down with his eyes. He knows exactly where everything is.
Ex-Mossad agent.
Yeah, knife in your boot, gun in your
guy who fled. He's like
Go ahead, bring gun in. See what you can do with gun. Go ahead,
exactly.
Let's see what
Guns
you do.
encouraged. Those guys are fucking wild as shit.
Yeah, the Samoans in the Bay Area are like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
And they're like 400 or 500 pounds, like just giant.
Well, those are the ones that go into security. The rest of them.
That's what I'm talking about. The Samoan security guards.
Yeah, not all the Samoans are there. I just want to be clear. You didn't mean that, but I don't want people to be like, does Bryan think all Samoans like that? What about me? I'm 6'5".
I'm only 295 pounds.
And I'm a police officer, which is technically also security, but for the city.
But for more explicitly for we don't explicitly say it's for property, but we all know it is, man.
Listen, man. The more they say the more property you own, the more you support police.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the more you imagine owning property, the more you support police, my man.
In my head, I got 3 houses, and
it's
I
coming.
mean, do I want that to just get smashed and grabbed? In my 3 imaginary houses?
It is a coming.
I would kill myself if I was that security guard, though.
He was a great guy, and I genuinely can say that speaking to him was the absolute highlight of my day. But once again, I would kill myself if I was him.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I'm thinking about killing myself as me. So
Sure. Yeah. But I'd rather kill myself as me.
Yeah, sure.
You know
of
what I
course,
mean?
Of course. Then you take out a straight white male.
Okay, how do you beat that? I'm a hero.
I'd be thinking the idea of suicide in my family is funny because my parents would absolutely, it's against our religion. However, if I took out a few people in Tel Aviv with me, there is a weird part of them that goes, well, it's one step better.
Yeah.
You don't have that with your parents. Your parents would go like, it's one step worse if you did that.
Yeah.
He killed everybody around him.
Yeah, because like now it's in the news, so I can't lie about it. Because I think there would be some reputation protection.
Oh, for us,
going on
they'd
in
be
my
like,
family.
Listen, we're sad that he went. My parents loved me very much, and they don't condone violence. But listen, a hero's a hero when we see a hero.
Dude, what?
People would celebrate me in the streets of Palestine. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I believe you.
There would be a big moment where when they would do a funeral, people would like bring my parents in, and they would like it's a crazy.
They would rename Sheikh Jarrah after Ramsey Badawi.
So when you guys are wondering why I'm putting a magnet on my brain,
Yeah.
understand I watched people be celebrated for this. I've seen DVDs of people get killed because they were snitches.
Right.
Which were sold, which I bought, which I didn't need to buy. But once you see the first thing, you want to see the second.
How do you not buy it once?
One time.
You got to do everything once.
2 shekels
Crack,
is like 40
execution
cents.
videos. Yeah.
And by the way, what am I going to do? Watch Palestinian TV? Please, I'll just watch this.
I thought that is that not one and the same?
It's it's actually the PTV2 Music Awards.
Yeah.
We kill a collaborator. Palestinian MTV.
Dude, I remember one time this is how close I get to suicide sometimes. My dad's somebody, I don't remember who, but somebody's kid killed themselves, and my dad called them weak. And I was like, I'm gonna kill myself just to humiliate you for that, for saying that. I'm just gonna humiliate you.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you're just looking for any way out.
Yeah.
You know.
But at the end of the day, you also go like, yeah, but I'm also a coward.
Yeah.
That's kind of right. Somebody said that to me. Because I've been doing a lot of stuff on stage about suicide, just because I just think it's funny.
Me too.
I think it's funny. Well, listen, we don't have to get too much to it, but somebody was like, hey man, like, just so you know, like, I'm here for you. Like, he gave me like one of those talks. Hey man, I'm worried. I just want you to know. And I really can't help but I felt a little cool when I walked away. Like, can't believe he thinks I got the balls to do it. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I'm putting
You don't go, a suicide bomber doesn't go to heaven?
Suicide bomber was automatically heaven. Well, it's actually not true. I'm sorry. I bought the propaganda. It's not true.
It's not true.
I think I may have talked about it on the show. That's a Shiite thing. Ugh, that's why I hate suicide bombing, just so everybody knows. It's a Shiite idea. It's not Sunni.
Okay.
But I didn't, this was brought to them in the 80s through Hezbollah. This is the thing about Iran, people don't realize, right, is Iran is always looking to build what they call the nuclear crescent to Israel.
Yes.
They've got these little, it's kind of weird and kind of, if it wasn't all rooted in a hilarious amount of anti-Semitism, you'd be like, wow, great military strategy of what they're doing. But it's rooted in some of the worst evils on the planet. Both directions. Don't get me wrong. Mossad people don't love Arabs.
Right, of course.
They don't chant Arabs are the sons of whores in the streets in
I
Israel.
saw a video of that recently.
That's like a chant they have. If you, Tyler, if you went to Tel Aviv and you just said Arabs are the sons, other people would finish it for you. They knew what you were like. That's
horse, like a hardcore song.
It's their defense. Defense.
Arabs are. You put the microphone out like this, and everybody gets on piggybacks. Sons of horse.
In the same way that everybody here knows na.
Are you sure that's not a bad translation of son of a bitch?
No, because the biblical origins of Arabs is that our mother is Hagar, who's Abraham's slave.
Is that what a hag
slave.
is? Does that come from Hagar?
Very well could be. Yeah. So the Abraham thing is that Abraham fucked his wife Sarah and had Simon, who's the father of the Jews. This is the biblical story. But also, you may know a couple Simons who are Jewish.
Yeah, their guy is named Simon.
Simon is
Neil Simon.
Many Simons. What are you talking about?
Simon is like the most Jewish name ever.
It's a very
I had no idea. I have a lot to learn.
Tyler learns at this show. That's the most important thing.
When you picture the name Simon, don't you think of a very smart person?
Yeah, I definitely think of like a nerd.
Yeah.
I said smart person, but yeah.
And let me finish this really quickly, then I'll jump on to my next one. And then Arabs he fucked his slave, and then his wife didn't like it because he started to kind of love on the slave a little bit.
A little Thomas Jefferson situation.
Yeah, but by the way, it was hilarious because he got to fuck this slave because he told her like he told his wife, he goes, listen, God came to me and was like, I gotta fuck this chick, basically.
Yeah.
And then when he gets rid of the slave, he tells her, he goes, listen, I love you, we all love you, but God kind of says that you and your son Ismail, father of the Arabs,
Sure.
You guys should probably go find yourself somewhere. Like, you guys, it's not from me, just so you know. Capital G, God, Father, says that you should go. And by the way, in the story, Abraham is 90 to like 95 years old.
He's fucking slaves at 95?
Abraham didn't leave his home in the biblical till he was in his 80s.
Right. Oh, yeah, because everybody's like 500 years old in the Bible.
Everyone's 500 years old.
By the way, I refuse to care about Ukraine until Palestine is free. And I want to say I'm very sorry about what I saw happening to your people.
Yeah. It's been a rough week for us.
Apparently it's going on all the time, but every now and then we tune in on times to focus on Palestine.
Thank you so much.
And I got to say, I heard about the skunk water
Yeah.
you guys were getting sprayed with.
And we also, there's a girl who got like a bomb thrown in her face or something.
Yeah.
There's a video that went viral this week of a girl, like a 14-year-old girl, just getting the shit beat out of her.
That wasn't happening 3 months ago when nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
That's because it wasn't happening.
And that's new.
It's new. It's just, so the Israelis saw what was happening in Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
And they were inspired by that. But because you're a brown, I don't care.
You may want to, you talk about the Palestine-Israel thing comes up because it's so you can just always Google it. Like, like you can Google
I know there's always something happened that day.
If you Google Palestinian child killed by Israeli and you hit enter, the first article is going to say 1 day. It's going to go 1D.
Yeah.
It's not going to say 5Y. It's going to say 1D.
1D, yeah.
And listen, unfortunately, it's true all the time, but guys who want to be
clever and smart.
But can I say this, though? Here's the truth. They're right. They're right. Everybody's right and everybody's wrong. And this Ukrainian situation, to me, has really...
Is it not possible to care about two things?
No.
Not
at one time.
If I express empathy for Ukrainians, is that me spitting in the face of a Yemeni who's being bombed?
Listen, that annoying person is saying it in an annoying way, but what they're kind of saying, which is righteous, which is like, yo, what about these nonstop wars you've been quietly supporting for the last 2 decades? They're not going like...
I get the point, but...
Is it not true on some degree?
It's 100% true. That's not the problem. The timing is you only care about this when people care about other people. It's an excuse to not care about anybody. It has the opposite effect of what they're going for.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. This situation, to me, has really, I think, illustrated look, this can change, but I'm becoming more and more confident that this is the beginning of the unraveling of society, because you scroll through Instagram and you see viral post after viral post. It's like, this one is pro-Ukraine. This one is weirdly pro-Russia and pro-Ukraine. This one is pro-Russia. This one is about how the guy is saying you should look at Palestine. This one's about the guy who says that if you look at Palestine or look at the guy who's looking at Palestine, you're an asshole.
Right.
How many different posts have you seen where it's like, fuck you for trying to make this about you? 2 million tweets. And it's like, all right, well, now you have a brand to just do that if you want to do that.
Right. Yeah, but also the irony of when you call out people for making something about you, you're actually just making it about you. And you're doing exactly what you're criticizing, you fucking hack. It's all annoying. That's why I'm radio silent on that shit.
It's not just annoying.
Of course.
It's unemphatically over. I go because all of this is true and all of this is like chaotic and it's all going 100 miles an hour. And I guess what I'm saying, there's a documentary called Hypernormalization where they talked about the beginning of the end of the Soviet Union. The first thing that happened was nobody had any like media source that they trusted because all of the media sources turned on each other. And this was kind of a government directive upward. And it sort of was a result of like the internal chaos happening within the country, right?
Well, that and perestroika.
We're there. Am I saying it's going to happen in 60 years and we're all going to kill each other? No. I'm saying it's going to happen in 180 years maybe. Or maybe it's fucking...
It's never going to be Armageddon. It's just going to get shittier and shittier and shittier and shittier and shittier and shittier. But it's just going to
might get to Armageddon. Yesterday, I was at a fucking a taco truck and I paid $15 fucking for a burrito. I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm gonna get a pitchfork if this thing hits 16. If this thing hits $16, like, what is going on with money right now, folks?
Yeah, that's fucking insane. You don't even have a building.
You don't have a building.
You don't have rent.
If you don't have a letter grade in your window, which I'm okay with. By the way, I'm comfortable eating from the street taco from the vendor. It's not that I give a fuck, but I will say,
of course, I'm comfortable. It's
listen,
delicious.
man, I've blindly looked the other way this whole time. Because listen, that guy's paying his taxes. He's got his building. He does his thing. I'll quietly look the other way because his taco is cheaper. If you're bringing me tacos at his prices, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to start. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to start losing some of my support here, my friend.
The cash only because none of it's getting claimed to taxes.
You don't think I know what's going on? You don't think I think this is?
Love participating in the racket.
I'm in,
but don't fucking gouge me.
As long as I can get my back scratched. It's like now all of a sudden we were scratching each other's backs, and all of a sudden you're stopped. You're not scratching my back no more.
100%. Yeah.
So we're getting close to. It might end in a revolution. I have no idea. Maybe not in this lifetime.
I just don't like the kind of people. I just don't like that vibe where it's like Russia sends a cruise missile into the Ukraine. Does that? And of course Joe Biden voted for Iraq. Of course we inappropriately invaded Iraq. And
I found all of it inappropriate. I'm going to be completely honest with you. There's a tasteful way to do it. Hey, you want to go? Listen, man. We wage war all day long, and maybe if you think war looks so horrible from Putin, you don't realize you've been supporting somebody like There's a way to do it. Actually, there's probably no way to do that.
Right.
It's probably
it's
too
like
thoughtful of a sentence, but
everybody's like, we're not getting involved in Yemen, and it's like, well, Obama was drone striking Yemen, and everybody was mad about that.
Ooh, when people, by the way, but hey, I also get annoyed when people bring up Obama drone striking now because
I didn't say the wedding.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
now.
it's always the wedding.
You go. You think you're so fucking smart? I'll kill you, bitch. I'll kill you right now.
Yeah,
bitch.
with a drone.
I have such a fucking part of me that really resents everybody now thinking they're as smart as me. Not that I'm smarter than them, but there are topics where it's like, listen, you want to talk fucking computer coding or whatever? I got nothing on you. You want to talk about what America's role is in the falling of Middle East and what Obama did? It's like now we're kind of in my realm, and you don't know this shit.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is like, okay, we drone struck Yemen to try to fight the Houthis. Nobody liked that. That on his side. Like the anti-war people didn't like that. So what's the other move to participate in a war nonviolently? Sanctions. But you've already got the worst humanitarian crisis in the world.
Yeah.
The water's full of cholera. Everybody's starving. So you sanction them, you're just going to kill all the regular citizens. So what's your fucking answer? Your answer is, so you're just going to poo-poo caring about Ukraine.
Yeah.
Because Yemen is in the shape it's in, but you don't have a fucking answer for Yemen. There's a little bit more of a chance.
I have an answer for Yemen. Get rid of all of them. Then they can't fight each other. Okay. I thought you guys were going to like cheer me on that one.
Oh, yeah. My father would cheer you on that one for sure.
I think that's so fucked up that there's like that they make your dad hate the Yemenis. And it's like,
I know.
These guys are wonderful, cot-loving people. They just want to chew their weird stimulant.
They just want to have overly emotional chats about nothing while squatting and eating a leaf.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of things that psychedelics and the like will do for your mental health.
Yeah.
You know, they say that if you're really suicidal, and back to the suicide stuff, if you're thinking about killing yourself, apparently, and I'm not going to tell you to call that hotline because we all know that that's a waste of time.
Do you know what they do on the hotline?
Dude.
If you don't have a plan, they ask you, like, do you have a plan?
Yeah.
They don't take you seriously at all.
Yeah, that's why I do. I tell them I have a plan, but it's only so you'll take me seriously. I actually, one time, I'm not kidding, and I was just curious how the process worked. There's a chat function now.
Right.
And they literally were, I got like a you are 32nd in line kind of message of like the chat function and thought like, Jesus, if anybody really needed this. It may have not said that language, but it was close.
You're more than welcome to wait, or we could have somebody call you back in the order you called it in.
Yeah, my advice is realistic, and I'm going to say this. If you're truly suicidal, ketamine is the move.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to go. They have these clinics that do it. And I'm not saying that this is necessarily the most safe thing, but it's probably safer than you killing yourself. Is that if you're really at the place where you're about to kill yourself, they have found that ketamine is one of the most effective antidotes to that, at least for the temporary time being. It's not like a guarantee you're going to
I thought you were giving advice on suicide. I thought you were saying overdose on ketamine is the
or
best.
you could do that.
It's the best way to go. Oh, I see. As a way to stop it.
As a way to stop it.
Yeah,
you could do that. Either way.
For sure. Yeah.
I feel like I should maybe cut that part out because I'm like, are we giving people some advice here that we can legally get in trouble for?
I don't know about legally.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If Rogan can't get in trouble for whatever the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I know.
And Rogan, if anything, I guess I should take a couple lessons from the guy. It's like, Jesus.
You're like, when I advised people to take ketamine as a way to avoid suicide, it was taken out of context. We were in the middle of talking about the Houthi revolution of Yemen. Clearly, I wasn't being serious.
It's taken out of context. I was in the middle of telling everybody how they should use a magnet on their brain. Your Honor.
That's what you do with the classic comic compo. I tell dick jokes for a living.
I have never told a dick joke in my entire life. I sincerely mean
Never?
Never.
I've told a lot of dick jokes.
Yeah.
Zero.
I find it a constant wealth of, and it's a lot funnier than the vagina. I'm just kidding.
Do you. Everybody do you. But I also find that most of the people who do the dick jokes comment never tell dick jokes.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of like, really, because a lot of what you do, Jimmy Dore, is
Bill Hicks.
Yeah, it's like, you know, a lot. John Stewart. Hey, I was just telling jokes. It's like, well, you host a show where you had Obama on last week.
Yeah, you did an hour on tax code last week. I didn't hear one dick joke.
By the way, John Stewart is now he's doing a lot of like
his podcast is crushing it.
Well, he's doing a lot of like stuff like he's doing real shit now.
I know.
I love this. And this is what I'm like, why don't comics do this more? It drives me crazy. And it's funny. I talk about like I'm not a comedian. But I'm like, the Federal Reserve is a way better case. You want to have like a woke off conversation.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve is a much more fun conversation to have because it's a lot less. But the problem is that requires a little bit of like leg lifting. You have to learn about shit.
Right.
But so they'd rather go like, I want to say that all lives are equal or black lives or whatever. So you go like, oh, okay, I guess that's like it's straightforward and crystal clear. We can all agree on that. But when we talk about like who controls the Federal Reserve and what do their policies mean in the grand scheme of things, like, I think Jon Stewart just did an episode on how the low interest rate leads so people have to dump their money into the stock market, which is like quiet corporate welfare. It's what happened with half the stimulus thing.
I know.
People talked about the stimulus. They're like, look, they're pouring money into the thing. They're buying GameStop. It's like, it's because you fucked everything up.
Yeah, you force. I mean, why would the dark corners of Reddit be pumping money into GameStop unless we weren't completely fucked?
Unless they were literally looking at themselves and going, there's no other option. And also like, what am I, an idiot? I'm just gonna put it in my bank account, let it fucking sink in value.
Yeah.
So that when gas is $6 a gallon, it's worth less money. Like it's fuck. Like so you go, hey, I'm going into GameStop, and they're wrong and they're right at the exact same time, and it's quite.
And it's a unifying message because anytime you talk about the Feds, you'll get all those weird libertarians. In there who get fired up talking about the Fed.
Can I say this? We're not making one of these both sides arguments, but also if you're somebody who criticizes the both sides argument, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody who's in anything. Where it's like,
I know. I don't either.
Oh, both sides bad. There's 1,000 sides. What the fuck are you talking about? Both sides bad.
You're not an intellectual when you point out that there's corruption on both sides.
Or an intellectual when you criticize the guy who didn't get up and yell all hail Saddam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a moment where people go like, check out this guy's a narc. He says it. It's like, fuck both of you. Fuck the both of you.
Well, I want to get back to what I was laughing at about Zelensky, though. Just imagine Ukraine. I was hoping you were going to say, can we put a pin in it? But anyway, imagine Ukraine.
I checked the clock.
Imagine Ukraine wins this war, right? Like, I'm talking about, like, they defeat Russia with not the sanctions. Ukraine's soldiers defeat Russian soldiers. I feel like I would love the guy who runs against him in the next campaign in the Ukraine. Who is the guy who's gonna have like an ego big enough to run against Zelensky? Where it's like,
it's just
look, I know he got a rifle and he led from the front and he physically saved us from extinction, but his policy on capital gains. What do you say?
What do you say?
Like, I think I could lead this country better than that guy. He's gonna become a dictator, right? He's just gonna lead forever and he's gonna go weird like Rudy Giuliani.
That's a country
Castro.
that respects military might.
Yeah.
They respect strength. Plus, now he's got this weird thing where it's like, ooh, he's a dreamy guy. Like, there's all this
it's
shit.
over. That guy, he's gonna have about 10 years of goodwill, and then it's gonna go Hugo Chavez. It's gonna go Rudy Giuliani. You know, these guys who are like the world's heroes, and then all of a sudden they get fucking weird because they just stay in office.
People did a lot of like, he used to be a comedian kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, let me
I hate that, dude. I'm so sick because every comedian we know thinks they should be president.
Yeah.
And so this just reinforces that. It really bothers me.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I go, well, at least with that, I go, listen, it's not that impressive. It says more about Ukraine than it says about his the comedic mind.
Yeah, the profession of, we tell truth to power, dog. That's
like,
why we make such good presidents.
No, the reason why we make good presidents is only in countries where the current president had to leave to go to the other country because they were going to kill him. Because he had supported the other country.
But apparently he's got a rifle and he's fighting on the side of Ukraine.
Oh, is he?
He's
PR.
Oh, PR, dude. There's all those pictures of Zelensky with his rifle, and then the other guy's like, oh, I got a rifle too. And he's like wicked old, just walking around with his fucking gun.
Even if it's true, I'm here to plant a seed of doubt.
All you gotta do is get some fatigues and a gun. I believe you. I mean, all these boxers that I'm fetishizing because they're like in the front line, I'm like, this is like World War II, dude. The heavyweight champion of the world. All I've really seen is stills of him in camouflage with a rifle.
No.
Doesn't mean he's in the military fighting.
Yeah. You just chewed it up.
Yeah. He's in Greece right now, getting his dick sucked or something, and he's doing photo ops.
As much as I criticize the media, they're also G's when they pull moves that you go, like, I'll be reading stuff sometimes and it'll be like, I actually think I just saw a YouTube video link. It was like a CBS thing, and it was like, Putin is not doing well according to sources, and you're like, okay, clearly like a propaganda piece. Like Putin backed into a corner according to military experts. It's like, okay, clearly this is a media war.
You have an agenda.
And we know it happens, that essentially there's a message downward that says, boy, it would be nice if people would start talking about how he's fucking...
Yeah. Be a shame if people caught on to his Parkinson's or whatever.
You want that post-war interview with Biden on 60 Minutes? It's interesting. Okay. Well, hey, listen. Well, let's just say we watch the news, and whatever happens, happens. That's the fucking world we live in. And
Zelensky's fighting half this war on Instagram.
But can I tell you, also, I get it.
Oh, of course.
I want Biden on the pod, too.
Yeah.
If Biden fucking
I find the guy charming as much as I resent him.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking for clicks, bitch. I want him on for clicks. I want that thumbs down. Thumbs down is still engagement. Thumbs down is still engagement.
Dude, I was joking on stage, like, if Trevor Noah was our president, he'd be the least funny president we've had since Bush won.
Oh my God, that's so true. It's so goddamn true. Oh, dude.
I've been watching.
Not nowhere near as badass, by the way. At least Bush 1, it's like, Bush 1's not all that funny.
At least he paratrooped into fucking, World War II.
At least he potentially killed JFK. According to
some people.
The dark, what is it? The Dark Soldier or something?
I don't
Have you seen that? It's like a loose change style infamous documentary about how
I've heard that he was a part of that because he was high up in the CIA.
He wasn't the gunman yet. He was the gunman,
according
to this documentary. And I just want to say it is in the vein of Loose Change, where it's like, or not Loose Change, but Zeitgeist, where it's like it just hit a nerve. It just came out at the right time.
Funny.
I choose to believe it's true.
Yeah.
What if every time he was grabbing a nurse's ass and touching her inappropriately, he was like, I feel so bad about what I did to JFK. Like he was
clutching for help. But he was just in a wheelchair, so an ass is the closest thing.
I ruined the country. I set back civil rights 35 years. Like
like the Irishman and the nurse, like, who's JFK?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
He's like, I sunk us into Vietnam. I'm responsible for Woodstock.
The media is like, quick, report that he's sexually harassing.
We wouldn't have hippies if it wasn't for that motherfucker.
For George Bush.
If he killed Kennedy, and we didn't go to Vietnam.
Well, I guess
if civil rights acts were passed and we didn't go to Vietnam, we wouldn't have fucking hippies.
If that's true, we wouldn't have hippies then. If Prescott Bush, his dad, didn't manage Nazi gold. So there you go. Nazi gold all the way down. If you look up Prescott Bush, he became a senator. Used to work pretty high up in one of the financial firms that managed the Nazi portfolios. Because remember, 40 or I guess 70 years ago, businesses just straight up had contracts with Nazis. Like, Mercedes, we are the only car.
Yeah. Exclusive. Volkswagen was the state car.
Now it's on the hush-hush between Toyota and ISIS, where they're like, look, this is between us, but we know. Come on. How are we getting all the trucks? They're all the same.
Every single ISIS terrorist has a Toyota.
They're all the same. And what I like about that is the practicality of it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I like even more about that. It's kind of beautiful. It's like 60 years ago, these guys were flying planes into our, bases, our military base, Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And now they make the best car on the planet. And it's like, Who knows? Maybe ISIS someday will be selling their cars to ISIS will be selling their cars to Bolivia. You know?
I mean, Isuzu. That logo looks like it. You just change out any Isuzu with ISIS. Right there?
We drop one final nuke on ISIS. They go, okay, look, we're only gonna do good, like we're gonna play ball basically. Your game. They start making cars. Then whatever wars are in Belize over crystals or whatever powers electric cars. They'll have a terrorist organization, probably the cartel.
Yeah, it would most likely be
The cartel will end up becoming
the CJNG or whatever.
This is gonna be a clip that people go in like 20 years. They go, damn, Ramsey was right about the whole thing.
Yeah. The ISIS trucks.
The ISIS truck is the best vehicle that you could ever. ISIS makes the absolute best electric truck imaginable.
Get 1,000,000 miles on one charge. On one charge, 1,000,000 miles.
Plus, every single glove box comes with a Quran. The manual,
huge upside.
The manual is left to right, a little annoying. It's hard to read the manual. I want to start at the end always.
Right.
Other than that, alhamdulillah. Great car.
The ISIS Hamdulillah is the name of the first truck.
Alhamdulillah V. Did you get the V Express or did you get the full size one? Because the full size one, fully loaded, is not bad.
What do you say after I say Muhammad in?
Peace be unto him?
No, but in Arabic?
Rasul alayhi wasallam.
So that's what it should be, the ISIS Muhammad.
Alayhi wasallam.
Yeah, that's the whole truck name. It's in parentheses.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, but I feel like they're not going to go for the part where, because you have to say his name while you're selling the thing. And
what if it was just called the Peace Be Unto Him?
Okay. I like that. It's going to be, by the way, the ISIS dealerships, no financing, all cash.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Financing is against the religion.
Yeah. That's what the rivals do.
We know who invented interest. We won't say who. I'm sorry, folks. This was a common discussion in my household. I have to air it out somewhere. In my household was a regular discussion about listen, you know who invented interest. You don't want to get involved in interest. You pay your bills off in full. And it's one of those things where you're like, well, how are you going to argue with the guy? He's got a great credit score and a bunch of money in the bank.
It's a good policy on bad foundations.
For bad foundations.
Yeah.
Perfect credit score.
It's good business.
The man supported gay marriage because he thought it would end the United States as a civilization. That's the honest to God truth. He thought it would crumble society and that we would finally have justice for Palestine.
Yeah,
he does his thing.
He does his thing.
He was a no on 8, folks.
Yeah.
It's a shocking no on 8.
Was that the mosque? Is that how everybody around the mosque was thinking?
No. We keep politics out exclusively. We don't talk any politics. Too many narcs. You don't talk anything at the mosque. The mosque
That's more hookah lounge stuff.
That's kind of yes, it is. It is. We call it. Well, they would say coffee shops. It's funny. Only an American would call it a hookah lounge.
Sure.
We're like, they sell coffee. Like every building in the Middle East has a hookah in it. I mean,
yeah.
Just, you know what I mean? It's like you go to a restaurant, there's a hookah.
Do you feel like they don't give you cancer? I know they do, but
they do.
When I smoke them, I'm like, this is different.
They not only give you cancer physically, but they give you a spiritual cancer that is one of the most vicious things on the planet.
My favorite thing to do is
everybody I know who smokes hookah is rotten on the inside.
You just get a watermelon one and you sit there and you just talk to your friend.
I
love it.
Latino friends who tell me about the toxicity of barbecues, the family barbecues. There's a lot of shit talking, and there's a lot of the worst relatives. You got to have the worst people over. You hate each other. That's the hookah lounge in the Arab culture. Very toxic.
Right.
Very toxic. I mean, the most toxic masculine place I can imagine is a hookah bar in the Middle East.
I wish we could do a live show from one.
We will. That will be
in Lebanon or something.
Moving forward, if we ever do this live again, maybe we should only do it in a hookah bar because I think they would get us.
Is there anybody down? Do you have ins at any I was gonna say hooker lounge, hookah lounge?
I can't imagine any hookah lounge in Los Angeles has ever heard of the podcasting as a concept.
Yeah.
Maybe now with Rogan, there's a little crossover.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of Dodge Challengers that come pre-installed with Rogan downloaded or
for sure.
Whatever,
Yeah.
And I say that as a fan of both the car and Rogan. So I want to be crystal clear about that.
Are you getting a new car?
I'm still up in the air at this point about what's going on. We have yet to.
Any more merch from the law firm?
Well, I've spoken to my attorney. I've decided that it's probably not a good idea for me to discuss this case openly.
Not even the T-shirt or the hat?
You're going to have to join you're going to have to join my OnlyFans to see any of that stuff. It's going to be a serious paywall.
I was gonna repost our OnlyFans clip, but you call it fans only.
Do I really call it fans only?
Yeah, I mean, you could edit that.
Yeah, you can edit that.
You swap them and you put the camera on Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I say it again.
Yeah, you go fans only.
Yeah.
Only fans.
You hear me clear my throat?
Yeah.
It's in the middle, it goes quiet, and you're only fans.
Just 80 yard like crazy. Oh my god!
All right, really quickly before we go, can we watch the TMS video really quickly? Because I want to show you what TMS is, and I want to close out with what my experience with it was. Because so the way it works is 5 times a week for 5 weeks. You go to this place. They target that part of your brain, which, by the way, I've already said I'm jacking up. I'm going to figure out how to get Red Bull directly into that part of the brain.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tweaking.
Just get Elon to carve out a circle of your skull.
Yeah.
And then you just pour Red Bull right onto that skull.
It's apparently one of those things that are like and again, in 40 years, it might be like, we might come out and be like, I may be the star of a movie in 40 years where it's like, listen, this is the dangers of this stuff. You don't understand.
Right.
Ramsey was a normal guy before, and then.
It's called like Ramsey's Brain.
Yeah.
It's on Lifetime.
It's written by Tyler.
Yeah.
This whole job serves Tyler his purpose of getting him his Get Out.
Yeah. He becomes a big Lifetime original movie writer.
Dude, I've had that plan before. I was like, these Lifetime movies, they make so many.
Can we say this?
Yeah.
Tyler is currently dressed like both Jay and Silent Bob. He literally looks like, and because of his complexion of his skin to his outfit, snapping a picture, of course, for our Instagram. He looks like he's in an ADT commercial where he plays a criminal.
He really does.
Where they go, listen, we can't get a person of color, obviously. Now we know Tyler's technically Mexican, but nobody knows.
Yeah. So we all feel good.
We all feel completely good. All the big wigs, when they're not sure about him, we go, he's actually Mexican. They go,
oh,
he's gonna have a natural sort of skill at this thing. Okay.
Sneaky.
I like it. Yeah, very good. Muy bien.
Muy auténtico.
I love it. I really do. Okay, so 5 times a week they hit your brain with this shit, and then apparently they think that it can really have a lot of the antidepressant side effects, effects, but none of the side effects whatsoever. And it stimulates the part of your brain. They think they know where it is, blah, 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 blah.
Anything that says no side effects whatsoever, I don't trust.
Well, there's a couple possible side effects. You have some headache or whatever. But here's the thing.
Every time you walk by a fridge, you're going to be sucked onto the wall of it.
It don't last forever either. And that's the beauty of it. Where it's like, listen, this could last, but you stay in your habits, you'll be back here in a year getting this thing buzzed off. And it's not cheap.
So if you change your habits and your lifestyle, it'll last? I mean, why don't you just go to the change your lifestyle and your habits?
A man who clearly doesn't. What a lame 1980s fucking Republican dad. Oh, you want me to start making enough money to not eat like a piece of shit every single day and not have to work 43 hours a week just to fucking make it exactly?
You're gonna have to. If changing your habits is part of what makes it work.
Yeah, but it's like you build. There's something called compounding interest. Your people wouldn't know anything about it. Others would, and misery compounds in a way and makes you. When you say that to me, I go, clearly a man who's truly never been in the thick of it. Tyler, my man, has been in the thick of it. Sometimes you're like, listen, man, I'm in such a fog of war right now. I can't figure it the fuck out, and that's the shit that keeps you from fucking cutting your throat. Yeah. So. A positive mental health message at the end of this podcast, ultimately. Anyways, that's why I'm so open about it. Because I'm trying to be a role model for these people. Let them know it's okay to try weird scientific experiments before you try having a vegetable for the first time in your life.
Okay.
All right. Hit. Can we play the video of what it looks like? First of all, check this chick out. Clearly happy now that she did it.
Before treatment, I was in depression to where I didn't get up. I didn't.
UC San Diego Health, by the way. I want to state this is not like Trump University
right.
catalog.
So I tried all the different types of therapies. I tried all the different kinds of medications.
Oh, buddy. Hit pause really quickly. When I was circling, they give you those numbers. They go, okay,
one
like
big circle and all the.
It's like I feel, 0. I feel good about myself. 1, blah blah. I did all of them, and then we tallied them up. I'm 1 point above the one where they're like, we may have to shock your brain.
Right, yeah. I probably would test pretty low on that, judging by what she's saying.
Meaning you don't think that this is for you. You're saying
no. I'm having all the symptoms she's having.
All right, hit play.
I didn't like the side effects. I didn't like waiting to see if something was going to happen, and then it didn't. So I was constantly let down.
I like the idea, by the way, that she's like, that they have this tape and they're like, I mean, this is all compelling and all, but let's throw a little noodling in the background, right? You gotta have somebody play the acoustic, otherwise.
People are getting bored here.
That I wanted to feel better. So it took about 2 weeks before I realized that this wasn't a feeling that was going away. The treatment that I received was absolutely simple. They just put something against my forehead and 3 minutes.
TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation.
It's a Greek
also
man.
referred to as repetitive.
They started
or
democracy.
TMS, which is repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation. And the machine uses a magnetic field to generate.
There's just birds dropping in the background.
That's why all the birds are dropping
in Mexico. That we're promoting a process known as.
I like that they really were like, we need you to look like a therapist for this, otherwise people aren't going to.
I know. They're like, cut. You said process. Could you say process? That'll make you feel a lot more intellectual.
Someone bring a Pakistan?
Yeah. Can you lower those glasses to the very edge of your nose?
There are different trajectories of treatment. Sometimes people respond quickly, and sometimes people take a longer response.
Okay, so that's the
and
gist
then
of it.
sometimes there's response.
And so this was your first treatment today.
That was my first one today, and
You did it.
I already did it. I started. I've got a long way to go, my friends. It'll be a long 5 weeks of getting my brain fucking magnetized.
I would have went psychedelics first.
Yeah, you know what? I just sort of was like, I'll tell you what. I'll go with whatever I can afford financially first, and then we'll get psychedelics. Is the route that you
What
do
about
with them.
testosterone? Have you thought about that?
You don't think I'm manly? I think I might have plenty of testosterone, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
And I know you would think not. You'd be like, well, how come you're not like way? I think there's a lot of aggressiveness. I could use a little chilling out, to be honest with you. I don't need any more ramping up. That's
I'm
what I
thinking
think.
about getting on testosterone for depression.
Well, try other things.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Guys-
Can't be real.
Well,
I'm
no.
dead serious.
Aren't most people that commit suicide dudes?
On most of the
Yeah, but they have low T.
that's low T is the hilarious way that like now like guys are like trying to treat their depression. Look, I hear you. Do whatever
dead
you're
serious.
comfortable with. Do whatever you got to do. Maybe you do need it, but do it on the advice of a doctor and not on a feeling you have.
I feel like I have low testosterone.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I feel like you have low testosterone, and it's like, all right, but maybe you could just
Okay,
do
so the
so
guy with
off.
the magnet on his head is giving me medical advice.
Zero. Listen, this is. I understand it's experimental. I understand. I understand it sounds hilarious, but I think the science I would like to believe is there. I saw a lot of letters from studies from universities where I like the letters of the universities. So like, yeah, that's ULCC sounds good to me.
Yeah, that sounds. What is it, University of
Harvard,
Louisiana.
no, Yale. I know that one. I know that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
one I know.
But you're like, is there a Y in Yale?
It's gonna be like a school that sounds like Yale. Like,
Is there a Yale Tech?
this is produced. According to the Institute of Magnet Creation. This is a fantastic product.
The Magnetic Institute of Technology, or as we call it, MIT, is saying that this is a very promising treatment.
Breakthrough. The guy, he sets it. He goes, listen, we gotta basically calibrate it. We have to figure out what frequency works best for your particular body. Everybody's got different needs or whatever. So what we'll do is we'll start you off at 50%, and kind of that's your first week. We'll bring you up to 80. By the end of this, at the 6 weeks, we'll get you to 120.
120 what?
Not volts. I'm sorry. That's the whatever. He gave me a thing. It's gigahertz, kilometers, something. He gave me something Europeans, gigawatts. I don't know what it was. But anyways, when he goes, all right, we start you at 50. My brain, I was going, I mean, really, you should just kick it. If you could just kick it up to 120 right away, because I'd love to see. I'd love to see if we can knock this out in 2 weeks. I don't want to keep coming every single week.
He brings out one of those Acme red horseshoe magnets. He's putting his boot on your chest, trying to get it off.
He does it. I'm yanking the nails out of the wall.
Yeah. It's like Magneto's here. All the metal.
I take the whole place down. I'm covered in Ridge wallets.
They're all yours.
It turns out that curing my depression really was just I needed to become an X-Men. Listen, if you can just...
All right, thanks, Doc. That'll do it. Bang this out in one sesh.
So they map it out. They get me in the cap. They get it. And he starts it at 50, and I fucking almost cried. It was like, I was like so the opposite of what I thought. It's funny what you think you can handle. The second he cranks it on, my eye closes. I start twitching on. My face goes lump, and I'm trying to act cool with the doctor. I'm like, I just started it on. It's completely fine. It doesn't hurt, but it is doing something because it's like, this thing just hit my brain in a spot that made me like do weird shit, like involuntary control, It's funny though in that moment too, because I was talking. It's funny because mental health professionals, and they can't actually have they're like customer service reps. They can't have a real conversation with you. They gotta always be slanted in a certain direction. Right. And so he's like, "Are you okay? Did that hurt?" And I was like, "No, I'm fine." I'm like, it's kind of weird to think of the fact that we're just like meat with electricity running through us. Like that really like made it clear. He like kind of was like, haha. But I mean, of course we're not. We're a lot more than that. Like he laughed at that at the joke and goes, but just to be clear,
70% water.
Yeah, just to be clear, human beings are a lot. No, but he goes, they're a lot more than that.
Yeah. Just
to be clear, your life is way more than
you're like nobody's
your soul
recording
and a
this,
spirit. And,
yeah, shut up.
Yeah, it was one of those. But anyways, I'll let you guys know. What happened.
But what did you feel like after?
Nothing. It didn't hurt. Didn't feel anything. I felt something, but it didn't hurt. It just was uncomfortable for 4 minutes.
Did you get hard?
I wish I did. No, if I got hard, then I'd be like, it works.
He hits the wrong spot and you just come.
Yeah.
I start shitting like crazy.
Yeah, at the same time.
Just evacuating everything.
Yeah, you got to do some experimentation if you got that.
Doc, I think, can we try this on my dick?
Here's the thing. He doesn't have to do that on me, but if I was him, when the office closes, he puts on a steel condom. Steel condom, super magnet. He's like, dude, you don't even want to know what this feels like. Just fucking pulled the cum right out of I would definitely fuck around with it though. I would be like, what does this part of my brain do? Shit, this one. I'm pissing. Okay.
Yeah.
This one is my fucking racist part of it. I'm getting really weird and racist now.
You have somebody holding up math problems.
Yeah, this was the math one. Yeah. Could be a fun time. I don't know. I feel like you guys should all try it. I'm trying to get everybody to just jump on board.
It's expensive, right?
Super expensive.
I'm not doing it.
There's no way I would do that.
It's insane how expensive it is.
I go to the VA. I tell them I'm depressed. They're like,
they'll do it. VA will do it. We'll cover it.
Really?
Because they're using this for PTSD.
Oh, they would cover it for you, not me. I'm not on disability.
You're not on disability.
I thought you were.
No, I'm in the process.
Oh, but they'll back pay you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a separate. By the way, I don't hate the idea of
releasing our VA, our VA disability podcast.
I'll put it off as a
That'd be a sick.
My man. I'll put it off as a write-off on the studio. You know what I mean? I go, listen, I do a charity thing. I help the vets.
Ramsey for podcast for veterans.
It's where I get 2 veterans to discuss veteran affairs issues. Just so you guys know, that would be a successful podcast.
I also think that, the Veterans Affairs is always sending me links to podcasts. Nobody's listening to those things.
That's what I'm saying. You guys could have the funniest one.
But I do offer the studio, Maurice Studios is what I'm calling it, Maurice.
Maurice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maurice Studios does offer discounts to veterans. However, we are not accepting any new podcasts at the moment.
Sure, but if any of you decide to come, now granted, it's 10% off of what we call the military, the industrial war, industrial war complex pricing. So you do get steeped up a little bit.
Yeah. Just to pay for your sins.
Yeah,
it's a volunteer army. So what do you want from me? You weren't drafted. You chose to participate in this bullshit.
Fair but just. That's what I would say. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. It's getting hot in here. Be sure to join. Hey, by the way, join our Patreon. Patreon.com/WHotW. We are, due to the supply chain shortage, going to raise prices next month.
Yes.
So we are moving, things are going to start moving up. Why should everything go up in pricing except for our Patreon pricing? I'm sorry, folks.
I mean, you've talked to Biden.
Yeah, that's not my problem, man. Hey, vote next election.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to have something to say? Vote.
Well, they'd just steal it. We'd probably get shut down on YouTube if you even
the amount of things.
That.
I just want to be clear. The amount of things that I've said compared to the amount of times I've voted, they go hey, if you want to have an opinion, vote or whatever. It's like my ratio is way off. I have voted one time, and I have all the opinions in the world.
I voted one time too, but I didn't even vote. I gave my ballot to somebody who seemed to really care.
What if it threw the election? Actually, I kind of like that.
It was the Gavin Newsom election. It was a midterm.
I like that idea where it's like, listen, kind of almost like a hybrid between a democracy and a republic, where it's like you can give your ballot. There's like guys who collect ballots professionally. They vote professionally.
Yeah.
I like where you're at.
I like this guy. He was like a DSA guy.
Yeah. He does
go.
his thing. You know.
Do you vote?
I like agents or
Yeah.
kind
This
of thing.
means something to you.
He's a democracy broker. I got a democracy broker.
I'm dumping 10,000 crates of ballots to this guy. It's exactly what Trump was talking about.
We've just created the most corrupt system in the planet. Anything you got to plug, Tyler, before we get out of here?
Nope.
Is your podcast back?
Yeah. We just
You might want to plug that.
The name of the podcast is Popcorn Perverts presents.
Ooh, I like that. Remember?
Popcorn perverts.
Finally, we have a conclusion on the name of the podcast.
Yeah, I know. They'll probably change it again.
Quest for the best movie ever.
It's
Wait, is
featuring
it popcorn?
We are the podcast perverts, and we are presenting Quest for the best movie ever.
I like that you guys are sticking to no marketing whatsoever.
It's still
Trust me, you want to have one word title. You want to give them something sweet,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I like it, popcorn perverts. But people are just gonna call you that. Just so you know.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's gonna be with former guests of the show, Jackson Banks and Tyler. Be sure to check it out. I'll throw the show. Is the show back up, or are you guys recording right now?
We've actually been getting views on the old apps, but we're going to be posting an app next week.
I'll put a link to the app so you guys can check that out in the show notes. Mm-hmm. You got anything to plug?
Yeah, I got shows in Huntington Beach, Ojai, Ventura, Los Angeles, Fresno, blah, blah, blah. Just go to Mr. Bryan Vokey on Instagram.
By the time this comes out, I think those tickets will be on sale. I'm going to be at the American Comedy Company in San Diego, April 9th, or 8th and 9th. Come to that, because it's not very often that I do shows I like.
Yeah.
I'm more than often doing ones I hate.
I like that club.
That's a great club.
Are you headlining?
No, Asif's headlining. I'm featuring. So best gig on the planet. Oh, that's what I want. 15 minutes there.
Yeah.
Have a nice night, everybody. Take it easy.
Yeah. Then you can go score some drugs right outside the club in the gas lamp.
I'll be out back. Fucking. You know what I like doing in the gas lamp is that's where I'll go upstairs and find myself a nice hobo to talk to.
Yes, 100%.
A good one, because they got the naval base there and all the military, so you get a lot of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in 2 wars.
Yeah, Bangkok stories, Port Town stories.
Sir, I got 2 American spirits for you.
Yeah.
For 2 American war stories.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
It's a good time.
I watched Crimea get seized through binoculars.
So great to see the way that we've treated you as a society.
Yeah, I know.
There's an arcade bar across from American Comedy Company where I have a record on one of the games.
Ooh.
You want to check it out?
What game?
Which game
It's
is it?
the baseball game where you pull back the little bat and you hit the little ball.
Yeah.
I shattered the record.
I have Big Buck Hunter. I have the record of Big Buck Hunter at a breakfast diner called Your Father's Place in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
I'm Slutfart69.
Okay.
If you
How do I know that's true?
Huh?
How do I know it's true? How do I know you didn't just read Slut Fart 69? You're like, oh, that's gonna be me. I'm telling people
Because who else could come up with something as brilliant as Slutfart69?
Listen, I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm just going. I'm skeptical. Next time, if you could bring a little bit of paperwork to back it up, I think it'd be nice.
You didn't question him.
Tyler, well,
I got a video.
I knew he did.
I got proof,
I knew he
baby.
did. Doesn't Tyler's also the only guy I knew who's got a video of himself hitting a hole in one.
Yeah. I was there for that.
That's
was awesome.
It's so incredible. The greatest
Yeah.
thing you could ever hope
Yeah.
for. You
To be
can't.
fair, though, the hole's really a lot bigger to him.
So it's more impressive.
Yeah. Oh, I guess.
You're saying, you're saying he could see it closer.
Yeah. Because he's so tiny.
with that club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I could.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
That club is serious. Was he
Yeah.
using a regular one or like a Fisher Price?
It looked like a 2x4.
So funny. Tyler, it's like you're like, is he about to pole vault or is he gonna play golf? I can't
Yeah.
tell.
Tyler, being of Mexican descent, he thought you were supposed to kick the ball off the tee. He's doing this tricks.
I like that because it doesn't even make sense.
He thought that was a soccer ball. He's such a tiny, and he's Mexican.
But soccer doesn't start on a tee. Is the only problem with that joke because you go
Sure.
soccer. If it started on a tee, which I'll tell you what, it would be better.
Football
if it did.
does.
Football starts on a tee, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's
Yeah,
true.
the kickoff.
That is weird.
Yeah,
That's a
football
weird.
starts on a tee.
No, that's a very good range. Tees can only be used in 2 scenarios: the most
Golf and
peaceful
football.
sport and the most violent one ever.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's got range.
Really beautiful stuff, like the Old Testament. Beautiful. I love when we can close the show on a beautiful note, dude.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic show. Thank you guys for listening. We will be rebranding very shortly. Things are a little hectic right now, but boy, oh boy, it's coming. It's coming. But in the meantime, on behalf of me, Tyler, Bryan, everybody in the Blank Nation, peace be unto the Prophet.
Long live Sheikh Jarrah.
Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Hey, do you know what people